Hello, dear friends. If you are one with all existence, how can anything really affect you? The illusion of separation creates a sense of isolation and vulnerability. Bennett Ross. Opinion piece. Ancient prophecies. Tipping point. Volatile events. The time is now. Ancient wisdom. Silent awakening. Return to harmony. Connection and balance. Let's start. For thousands of years, ancient cultures such as the Hopi, the Mayans, and the wise men of India predicted a time when humankind would awaken to a higher consciousness. They spoke of cycles, of a shift from darkness to light, and of the return to harmony. That time is now. This awakening is not in the news, and it is not a viral trend, but it is quietly happening within people everywhere. We are realizing that reality is shaped by our attention, that peace is not found in a struggle, but in creating a life aligned with our own truth. People are remembering the ancient wisdom of connection and balance. Instead of focusing on chaos, they are choosing to heal themselves, live consciously, and create beauty. This is not a revolution of force, but of spirit. The prophecies speak of positive energy, not of struggle, but of building a world aligned with compassion and wisdom, where there is no place for conflict. Imagine a world where the old energies of fear and greed are dissolved, where the peace becomes the norm, simply because we have outgrown the need for anything else. This is the quiet and unstoppable awakening our ancestors saw. It is here and we are living it. Not to war. When human beings take up arms and go to war, they immediately become the target of the enemy. All the exciting patriotic speeches, matches with drums and trumpets, hugs from friends and family mean nothing as bullets destroy your life. That is why war must be avoided at all costs. We must seek peace agreements, emigrate from countries at war, or do whatever is necessary to avoid going to war. Those who wage war are enemies of humankind and create wars on purpose for personal gain. This is a serious crime that must be fought and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Reset News. According to Mark Sira, the turning point is Iraq's leap into the digital economy. They have completed the transition. They are just a point or two away from a total transformation of their system. The global financial and monetary system is changing this week. We are witnessing in real time the introduction of the new digital dollar at the same time that companies are moving away from traditional finance and adopting Bitcoin as a corporate reserve asset. According to Judy Binton, a global financial crisis is expected to break out between Tuesday, December 17th and Wednesday, December 18th. The old system is crumbling under the weight of its own corruption, and the new system is about to emerge from the ashes like the phoenix. According to Ariel Proletario 1, power has faded. Reports are emerging that the UN is closing its doors temporarily due to lack of funds. This should come as no surprise to anyone, as they struggled to pay their electricity bill last year. Economy. The New York Stock Exchange hit a new all-time high. According to David Lynn, markets are at risk of a correction and the stocks are out of control. Wall Street banks continue to inflate the mother of all bubbles for 2025. The Davos Forum is having problems with its agenda, which is crumbling before its very eyes. Putin reveals that the Davos Forum is offering $45 billion bounty on Donald Trump's head. Apple faces lawsuit for monitoring employee devices. The Fed sees Bitcoin as a competitor to gold, not the dollar. The price of Bitcoin continues with an upward dynamic, reaching a price above $99,000 this Wednesday. USA. Trump raises the idea of eliminating income tax. Trump picks Peter Navarro as top trade advisor. Raising tariffs to 100% for BRICS would be practically unfeasible. According to Melissa Rocha, Trump's tariff threat is a strategic mistake in the face of an emerging economic order. Jim Willey believes that Trump's second term will be different from the first, where we heard a lot about draining the swamp, but never saw it materialize. Some political changes will shape the world we will live in for years to come. U.S. Congress admits theft of more than $250 billion in public aid during the health crisis. President Biden on Sunday pardoned his son Hunter Biden after he was convicted in 2 separate federal cases earlier this year. Trump asks to overturn his bribery conviction, alluding to Biden's pardon for his son Hunter. Bill Clinton says Biden was wrong to reject Elon Musk. Tucker Carlson returns to Moscow for talks with Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Asia. South Korea's president declared martial law and accused the opposition party of engaging in anti-state activities. Chaos breaks out in South Korea. President declares martial law, but parliament unanimously rejects it. South Korea's stocks fall as opposition parties move to oust President Yoon. The opposition in South Korea presents a motion to remove President Yoon. The South Korean president announces that he will revoke martial law. South Korea experienced a brief period of martial law and military rule which ended suddenly, but events like these can erupt at any time, unexpectedly. Shock Doctrine 2025 will be characterized by volatile, unpredictable, highly destabilizing events, according to Mike Adams. Europe. French government toppled in no confidence vote brought by opposition. France political chaos casts long shadow over economic growth. Outlook for euro turns bleak after French government falls. Contentious budget plans are wreaking political havoc across Europe. Echoes of the euro crisis. Half of EU countries will break tax rules this year. The price of gas in Europe reached its highest level so far this year in November. Europe is sounding the alarm of the danger of being a collateral victim of a trade war. Former European Commissioner for Justice is questioned for alleged money laundering with the lottery. Norway puts the brakes on deep-sea mining. The third raven died in the Tower of London, and the English fear a terrible prophecy. Great Britain wants to compete with the US as a global cryptocurrency hub, but the industry has its doubts. 6 nights of protests against the Georgian government. Ukraine's NATO aspirations weaken as Russia advances. NATO sets as a priority to increase aid to Ukraine to strengthen it in future negotiations. Spain. Civil protection warns of an episode of winter weather starting next Saturday. Spain is heading for the best tourist year in its history with 95 million foreign visitors. Marlaska activates the traveler registration platform to kill tourism. Spanish hotels now require too much personal private data. Milei says that Pedro Sánchez and Zapatero are the torture that the poor Spaniards have. UNESCO recognizes cider culture as a cultural heritage of humanity. Spain's manufacturing sector slowed down in November according to a survey. Spain wants to deploy naval forces in the Indo-Pacific as a deterrent against China. Americas. The government of Mexico announces a 12% increase in the minimum wage for 2025. Gross fixed investment in Mexico falls 2.3% year-on-year in September, the first drop since 2021. Mexico needs more port infrastructure to cope with new capital. Mexico Supreme Court declares life imprisonment unconstitutional. Sheinbaum rejects a possible U.S. military intervention in Mexico to combat drug trafficking. Sheinbaum on migrants, in quotes. The U.S. would not eat if it were not for the Mexican farm workers. Why separate a child who crosses the border with his family? Ask JFK Jr. We have never seen an economic war like this. According to Michael Snyder, Mexico is going to want some kind of compensation for all the illegal immigrants who are self-deporting through their country. Many of these illegal immigrants are from China, Russia, Africa, Haiti, and various South American countries. They will have to be fed, clothed, housed, and moved. The Guatemalan government offers a public apology for the forced disappearance of the poet Alaide Fopa in 1980. Petro criticizes the British monarchy for the reimposition of visas on Colombians. Colombia's finance minister resigns in a scandal over alleged corruption. Cuba suffers its third general blackout in less than 2 months. Nicaragua opens a new logistics center in the Pacific to improve its competitiveness. El Salvador could become the safest country in the world in 2025, according to Bukele. Ecuador receives 23 generators that will help alleviate the energy crisis. A state of emergency extended in areas of Ecuador due to serious internal unrest. Peru plans an investment of more than $19 billion in projects with Brazil. The Argentine government prepares to end free healthcare and university education for foreigners. Argentina denounces the siege of its embassy in Venezuela before the International Criminal Court. U.S. demands Maduro to allow asylum seekers to leave the Argentine embassy. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.